The day has already begun to loosen its grip, and the edges of evening settle in around a quiet shoreline. Soft light lingers just long enough to warm the sky, then gently fades into the cool calm of twilight. Everything feels unhurried here, simple, steady. The air carries the last breath of the day, and the world seems ready to rest. A faint breeze drifts in from the open water, brushing across the skin with a cooling touch. Nothing rushes. Nothing demands attention. The sound of the surf moves in its own slow rhythm, rising and falling as if it has always known how to guide a tired mind toward peace. Each wave seems to carry a small piece of the day away. The sand beneath your feet has lost the heat of the afternoon. It feels smooth, settling with each gentle shift of weight. The shoreline stretches quietly in both directions, soft curves meeting the softening sky. Far off, the last traces of sunlight blur into muted violet, deepening the sense that night is close. Here the world feels safe, still, held in a way that invites you to breathe a little deeper and release the tightness that may have followed you through the day. The sounds around you are low and steady, the hush of water, the whisper of the wind, the small sigh of evening air moving through open space. Even the waves seem slower now. As each one rolls in, it pauses for a moment before slipping back into the sea. That pause has a calming presence, as if the coastline itself is taking a long, quiet breath. You may notice your own breathing falling into a similar ease, slow and natural, without effort. The twilight deepens by small degrees. Colors soften, edges blur. The horizon melts into the water in a smooth line that glows faintly, before giving way to the first shades of night. Nothing sharp remains. Everything feels rounded, peaceful, and gentle. It is a place where the mind can drift without trying. The cool air carries a clean scent. Touched with salt and a hint of distant rain, it feels grounding, as though each breath connects you more firmly to the steady rhythm of the world around you. There is no urgency here, only calm, only the easy cycle of the ocean moving with purpose and without hurry. As the light fades further, the soft sounds of the shore become more noticeable. The distant surf settles into a quiet pulse. A low hum spreads across the open water. Each movement, each shift, feels like part of a greater stillness. Nothing disrupts the moment. Nothing interrupts the quiet. Standing here, it becomes natural to let thought slow down. The cool sand beneath your feet, the gentle air across your skin, the calm water stretching out before you. These simple sensations create a sense of presence that asks for nothing more than noticing. Everything else falls away, carried off by the steady pull of the tide. Even the breeze seems to soften, moving in slow strokes that guide the mind toward rest. It brushes through the twilight air with delicate intent, smoothing the edges of the day. In this space, that soft movement feels like reassurance, like a reminder that it's safe to relax, safe to let go. The horizon continues to dim, but there is no loss in the fading light, only a quiet shift toward deeper calm. Shadows lengthen gently across the sand. The surface of the water grows smooth in places, textured in others, all of it drifting in a peaceful rhythm that asks nothing of you except to be here. This moment belongs entirely to stillness. The ocean, the sky, the evening air, they come together in a way that eases the mind without needing words or effort. A natural settling takes place. Thoughts drift, breathing slows, the quiet becomes its own comfort. As twilight settles fully, a sense of being held by the landscape grows stronger. The coastline feels timeless, steady, familiar. The kind of place where worries have a way of dissolving into the air. Each soft sound, each gentle movement of water deepens the ease that has already begun. There is nothing left to do now, no direction to follow, just the soft pull of the ocean and the smooth rhythm of the night. The world around you has quieted, and in that quiet, space opens, space to rest, space to breathe, space to simply be. The shoreline remains calm as the final traces of daylight slip away. The waves continue their slow approach, their soft retreat. The air grows cooler, wrapping the moment in a tender hush. Everything feels in harmony, drifting together in peaceful balance. Here in this gentle arrival at the shore, the world invites you to settle deeper, to ease into the softness of twilight, to let your thoughts drift like the tide, unhurried and free. And in this quiet, the night begins to hold you with steady, soothing care, guiding you toward deeper rest. The shore is already quiet when the first soft waves begin to roll in. Light still touches the horizon, but it is gentle now, stretched thin along the edge of the water. Everything feels slower here, as if the day has taken a deep breath and begun to exhale. Water gathers itself in the distance, then travels in a long, smooth line toward the sand. When it reaches the edge, it folds over and spreads out in a thin, shining sheet. Foam curls at its edges, then fades away as the wave slips back into the sea. This motion repeats again and again, calm and steady, like a slow, familiar rhythm. Each wave arrives with the same quiet patience. None of them rush. None of them try to be more than they are. They simply come forward, pause, and return, drawing a soft silver pattern along the shoreline. In that pattern, it becomes easier to feel the body begin to relax. Some part of the day may still cling to your thoughts. Images, conversations, small worries may drift through the mind. As the waves continue, they offer a simple, gentle suggestion. You do not have to hold any of it right now. The water can carry it for a while. Another wave approaches, smooth and soft. It reaches the sand, spreads out, and then gathers itself again as it slides back. With that motion, a small strand of tension unties itself in the chest or in the shoulders or somewhere deeper inside that does not need a name. Nothing dramatic, just a slight easing, like a knot being loosened, one careful thread at a time. The light along the horizon continues to soften. Colors blend into one another, pale gold, soft blue, a hint of rose fading into a gentle grey. Those colors rest on the surface of the water, moving in slow flickering lines that rise and fall with each wave. It feels like watching the sky breathe through the ocean. Close to the shore, the water looks more transparent. It glides over the sand in thin layers, then pulls back, leaving small traces of foam and glistening patterns behind. This simple back and forth has a kind of quiet comfort. It requires nothing. As you notice it, the mind naturally begins to match its pace. Breathing falls into its own easy rhythm. Air moves in, then out, as steadily as the tide. With each slow inhale, awareness settles gently into the present moment. With each soft exhale, a little more of the day drifts away, carried off by the retreating water. The evening tide has its own hush. Sounds are low and rounded. No sharp edges, no sudden changes, just the ongoing murmur of waves arriving and departing, like a calm conversation that never needs to be answered. This sound gathers around you, soft and protective. A faint breeze moves along the beach, touching the surface of the water and brushing past the skin. It feels cool and kind, as if the night itself is smoothing everything down, preparing the world for rest. Clothing shifts slightly in the air. Hair stirs. All of it happens without effort. A gentle reminder of how supported this moment is. Farther out, the waves are larger, but from here, they seem slow and relaxed. Their energy softens as they travel toward the shore. By the time they reach the sand, they are tender, almost shy, as they fold and break in small, foamy curls. That softness mirrors the way tension gradually unwinds inside. Perhaps there was a tightness in the jaw earlier, or a slight heaviness around the brow. Maybe the chest felt a little constricted, or the stomach a bit unsettled. Now, as the waves keep moving in their steady rhythm, those sensations begin to lighten. They stretch and release, just as the water stretches across the sand. The sky continues to dim, but not in a hurry. Twilight lingers for a while, offering a slow fading rather than a sudden drop into dark. That lingering glow helps everything feel safe and familiar. You are in a place that understands how to rest, how to quiet itself, how to let go of the day without resistance. Footsteps on the sand would sink in slightly, softened by the cool grains below. Even if you stand still, the body feels grounded by that firm, gentle contact with the earth. The shore supports every part of your weight without complaint. In the same way, this moment supports whatever you feel without needing you to change quickly or force yourself to relax. Wave after wave continues to arrive. Each one is like a slow, quiet message. It is okay to soften now. The shoulders can drop a little. The muscles in the back can ease. Even the small muscles around the eyes, the ones that work all day without rest, can begin to loosen. The pace of time seems to change by the water. Minutes feel longer, stretched out by the softness of the tide. There is no pressure to keep track of anything, only the gentle counting of waves, one after another, as they glide toward the beach and drift away again. This repeating motion becomes a calm anchor, holding attention in a peaceful place. As the evening deepens, the sound of the waves grows even more soothing. They blend with the low hum of the breeze and the quiet of the open sky. Together, these sounds create a cocoon of calm, wrapping around you like a light, warm blanket. Inside that cocoon, the mind no longer needs to plan or solve. It can simply float. Breaths are slower now. The body feels a little heavier in a pleasant way, as if it is sinking into the comfort of the moment. Thoughts that once felt loud now seem far away, like distant boats on the horizon, barely visible against the dimming sky. The only thing close, the only thing clear, is the soft rhythm of the waves and the ease they bring. Each gentle movement of water against sand marks another step into deeper calm. The fading light, the quiet sounds, the cool air across the skin, all of it works together to create a sense of quiet release. Nothing is rushed, nothing is forced. A natural unwinding is already in progress. Now the waves arrive almost like a lullaby, repeating the same soothing phrases in the language of the sea. They come forward, then pull back again and again, until the body and mind are no longer separate from their rhythm. Everything moves together, slowly, softly, peacefully. The evening continues to unfold, and the first soft waves keep rolling in, one after another, drawing the day farther and farther away. With each gentle touch of water on sand, calm settles more deeply, and the shoreline becomes a quiet place to rest, a quiet place to drift, a quiet place to simply be, carried by the slow, soothing rhythm of the tide. The day is leaning gently into evening now. Light along the horizon softens, as if someone has smoothed a hand across the edge of the sky. Nothing changes too quickly. Everything shifts in slow, quiet steps. Gold still lingers where the sun once stood. It stretches out in long, thin bands over the water, glowing softly. Those bands begin to fade at the edges, where they meet cool blue. The colors touch, then slowly melt together. Closer to the shore, the water reflects every change above it. Small ripples carry pieces of light, back and forth. Gold shimmers in their peaks, then slips back into deeper tones as each small wave settles. The surface becomes a moving mirror, holding both sky and sea in one gentle motion. Farther out, the blue of the ocean deepens. It no longer feels like daytime blue, sharp and clear. Instead, it turns velvety and soft, blending with the early hints of night. Here and there, streaks of lavender drift across the sky, and their color rests on the water in faint, glowing lines. The air is warm from the day, but cooling with each passing moment. A mild breeze moves along the shore, carrying the quiet scent of salt and evening. As it brushes across the skin, the touch is steady and kind. It feels like an invitation to slow down, to match the gentle pace of the changing light. Streaks of gold sink lower, losing their brightness and gaining a softer tone. They slide into pale peach, then into dusky pink, before dissolving into subtle purple. None of these shifts are sudden. They glide into one another so smoothly that it becomes hard to tell where one ends and the next begins. The sky above grows wider as the sun's glow fades. Edges that were once sharp and bright now blur and blend. Clouds, if any remain, are brushed in light shades of rose and violet, floating quietly. Their reflections on the water look like soft strokes of color that move with every small wave. Near the horizon, the line between sky and sea becomes more gentle. Gold rests there like a last soft thought of day, surrounded by layers of blue and lavender. That thin band of light grows narrower and more delicate, as if it is being folded slowly into the evening. Each minute, the colors deepen, settling into calmer shades. Here at this hour, the world feels wrapped in warm air and fading light. Awareness turns outward at first, noticing every color, every shimmer on the water. Slowly, that awareness begins to drift inward, carried by the peaceful rhythm of the scene. Thoughts become quieter, like distant waves folding into the shore. As the gold retreats, the blues grow richer. They are not cold or harsh, only deep and soothing. Lavender slips through them, forming gentle bands that reach across the sky. Those same bands lie across the water, soft and broken by tiny ripples that catch and release the light. The surface of the sea continues to move in small, patient motions. Every movement bends the fading colors, stretching them and letting them go. Shimmers of light appear, then vanish, like calm breaths taken and released. Watching this slow dance of color and motion, everything inside begins to loosen and let go. In this moment, nothing needs to be decided. Nothing needs to be fixed or planned. The only thing that matters is the way the sky leans into evening and the way the water receives that change so gently. Together, they create a quiet harmony that eases the mind into rest. As dusk draws closer, the warmth of the day sinks into the horizon. Peach turns to soft grey, lavender becomes dusky blue. Colours that once stood apart now flow together like water, forming a peaceful, unified glow. The air cools a little more, adding freshness to each breath. It feels as though the world is exhaling, releasing whatever tension it carried through the day. That same release moves through the body, from the chest down through the arms and hands, through the back and legs, like a quiet wave of ease. Everything begins to feel a little heavier, in a calm, comfortable way. Above the horizon, the highest part of the sky deepens into a soft indigo. It holds the last traces of lavender and pale blue within it. There is no rush to reach darkness. Twilight takes its time. This unhurried shift allows the mind to follow at its own pace, drifting gently from alertness toward peaceful surrender. Everywhere, the light is kind. Even as it fades, it does so with care. Nothing feels lost. Instead, it feels as if the day is being carefully tucked away, folded into the comforting embrace of the coming night. The sea reflects this tenderness, its surface calming, its colors smoothing into one another. The water nearest the shore now carries muted tones of grey-blue and faint purple. Shimmers still appear where small waves rise and fall, catching the last hints of color from the sky. Each shimmer is brief, a tiny flash of light that fades as quickly as it appears. Their short lives make the stillness around them feel even deeper. Here, with the colors beneath the sky, softening in every direction, the mind finds less to hold on to and more to simply feel. Awareness sinks into the gentle blend of hues, the quiet shift of light, the calm motion of the sea. Thoughts untangle and dissolve into the background, like distant clouds thinning at the edge of vision. What remains is calm and the steady comfort of the evening air. Now the horizon is a narrow band of gentle glow, resting between deeper blues. The last streaks of gold had given themselves fully to the night. Lavender and silver grey linger where they once burned brighter, now content to be soft and quiet. The world feels ready for rest. Colours beneath the sky continue to drift and settle even as they grow dim. The water mirrors them faithfully, then gradually lets them fade. In this slow dissolving of light, a deep sense of ease unfolds, like a long sigh released into the open air. Everything becomes simple, silent, and soft. And as the final shades of dusk blend into the calm of night, the sea and sky move together in perfect, quiet balance, drawing awareness gently inward, inviting the body and mind to rest in the soothing afterglow of the day, and to drift peacefully into the deeper calm that follows. The shoreline has grown quieter as evening settles in. Waves move with soft, steady rhythm, and the air feels cooler now, carrying the calm of dusk across the sand. Everything around you invites a slower pace, a gentler way of being. A single step forward shifts the sand beneath you. The grains move easily, adjusting to the shape of your foot, warm in some places and cool in others. It is a grounding feeling, simple and steady, the earth meeting you with softness. Another slow step follows. The sand gives way again, not too much, just enough to let you know you are firmly supported. Your weight settles, and the muscles in your legs loosen a little more. Each movement becomes part of the quiet around you. The breeze slips across your skin, mild and unhurried. It carries the scent of the sea, salt, cool air, and something faintly sweet from the day's warmth. This gentle combination settles in your chest, easing the space around your breath. You walk a little farther, unforced, unhurried. Footprints form behind you in a soft, winding line. They are shallow near the dry sand and deeper where the moisture rises. With each step, your connection to the ground becomes clearer. There is nothing else to do but feel the sand shift and cradle your feet. The rhythm of walking becomes its own quiet comfort. A slow press of the foot, a gentle release, a moment of stillness before the next soft step. The body begins to understand this pattern, settling into it naturally. Some parts of the sand still hold the leftover heat of the day. When your foot touches these warmer patches, a calm wave spreads upward. Other spots are cooler, brushed by the evening air and the nearby tide. This mix of warm and cool creates a soothing balance, grounding you with each step. The sky above deepens into soft shades of blue and grey. Light fades at a relaxed pace, lingering just long enough to give the world a gentle glow. In this dimness, everything feels softer. The edges of sound, the edges of thought, the shoreline becomes a quiet companion. Your steps continue to fall in slow succession. Sand shifts, muscles release, breath eases, a steady calm spreads across your shoulders and down your spine, settling deeper with every small movement. Now and then, the tide creeps closer. A thin layer of water reaches the tips of your toes or brushes lightly against your ankles. The coolness surprises for only a heartbeat, then fades into comfort. The sea seems to greet you with each gentle touch. Some parts of the beach feel more firm underfoot. They hold you with a steady, supportive strength. Other parts soften instantly, letting your foot sink just enough to feel embraced. Both sensations bring awareness to the moment, anchoring you fully to the shoreline. Every step pulls your attention further away from the day. Whatever felt heavy becomes lighter. Whatever felt loud becomes faint. The repetitive, calming motion of walking on sand has a way of guiding the mind toward quiet. Your breathing finds an easy rhythm that matches your steps. Inhale as one foot presses down, exhale as it lifts. This gentle coordination brings a peaceful harmony to the body, steady and natural. The faint warmth left in the sand holds a memory of sunlight. It rests against your soles with a soft, comforting glow. Even though the day is ending, that warmth lingers like a final gift, shared freely by the earth. It helps the body unwind, releasing tension without effort. The cool sand nearer the water adds another layer of calm. It soothes the bottoms of your feet and calms any leftover restlessness. There is something reassuring about the combination of warm and cool, held together by the softness of the ground. It feels like balance, simple and complete. The breeze deepens its touch as the evening grows darker. Each gentle gust brushes across your arms, your cheeks, the small spaces around your neck. It carries the quiet hum of night and the faint murmur of waves folding over themselves. The sound blends with your footsteps, forming a calm, steady background. Walking becomes easier with each moment. The body understands what to do, and the mind begins to drift. Thoughts soften, then dissolve, leaving space for quiet presence. Here, by the water, even a single slow step feels meaningful. The shoreline stretches ahead like a smooth pathway, guiding you with gentle curves. No need to decide where to go. The beach offers direction without demanding anything. Its steady, natural line lets you move forward without pressure, only ease, only softness. As the sky darkens further, the sand takes on a cooler tone. Your steps feel more grounded now, as if the earth is inviting you to settle deeper into calm. The sensation beneath your feet becomes even more soothing, a quiet reminder that you are supported with each move. Soon the steps grow slower. The body feels heavier in a peaceful way. Breath deepens without effort, matching the soft rhythm of the sea beside you. Everything slows to a gentle, comfortable pace. A final few steps carry you across another patch of warm sand. That warmth rises through the soles of your feet, spreading upward in a slow, relaxing wave. It blends with the cool night air, forming a perfect balance of comfort. The shoreline quiets even more. Waves roll in softly. Footsteps become a whisper in the sand. And the path before you feels calm, steady, and safe. With one last easy step, the body settles, the mind follows. The evening holds you gently now, supported by the ground beneath your feet and the quiet rhythm of the sea, guiding you deeper into stillness and letting the calm of the night drift softly through you. The light is fading in slow, gentle strokes. Evening settles across the water with a softness that feels almost weightless. The edges of the sky stretch wide and calm, opening into the cool quiet of night. Far off, a breeze begins to move. It travels across the surface of the sea with unhurried grace, brushing against the water in long, sweeping motions. Each touch creates a faint murmur, a low, soothing sound that drifts toward the shore. The air carries that sound like a quiet lullaby. Small ripples form beneath the breeze. They shimmer where a trace of light still lingers, catching the last bits of color from the sky. Those colors slide across the water in thin, trembling lines before dissolving into deeper blue. The movement is slow enough to feel like a long breath, drawn and released. The breeze grows steadier, not stronger, just more present. It glides over the ocean in smooth waves, encouraging the water to sway in gentle rhythm. Nothing pushes or pulls with force. Everything moves with the ease of a world ready to rest. Closer to the shore, the ripples arrive in soft, shifting patterns. They touch the sand with a faint whisper, then drift back into the open sea. Each small wave carries a hint of coolness, a quiet reminder of the night settling in. Every return feels like a soft settling inside the mind. The sky above stretches into deeper hues, opening wider as the last colors of day melt away. A pale glow remains along the horizon, blending with the dim light reflected on the water. This glow feels expansive, as though the world has grown larger, offering more space to rest within. Nothing feels crowded. Nothing feels rushed. A distant wind brushes past again. Its sound is low and airy, like a soft hum drifting across the surface. It gathers the scents of salt and open water and carries them through the air in a cool, drifting wave. The sensation across your skin is calming, steady, and familiar. As the winds pass, the water responds with quiet motion. Small swells lift and fall in slow rolling patterns, never hurrying, never breaking sharply. The surface shifts like a blanket, being gently shaken and then smoothed again. This steady movement feels comforting, as if the ocean itself is breathing. The horizon stretches farther as twilight deepens, drawing the eye into its soft, open space. That openness brings ease, the kind that softens the chest and loosens the jaw. Breath becomes longer, deeper, without effort. Thoughts begin to drift like the wind, light and unanchored. Out on the water, the breeze creates delicate trails of ripples. They catch what little light remains and shimmer for a moment before fading into shadow. Each shimmer is brief, like a quiet exhale. The sea sways with these subtle changes, absorbing them into its calm rhythm. The wind moves past again, this time carrying cooler air. It glides over your arms, your face, the small spaces around your neck. The sensation is refreshing, a gentle stroke of night air that eases the body deeper into calm. It feels like an invitation to let everything settle. Waves shift in response to the breeze, tilting in slow arcs. Their crests rise slightly, then lower again, forming a quiet dance along the surface. Nothing about the movement is sharp. It is all rounded, smooth, patient. In this moment, the blend of wind and water creates a harmony that surrounds you. The sounds merge into one continuous murmur, steady and soothing. It becomes easy to feel supported by this rhythm, as if the world is holding you in gentle hands. The body responds by loosening, even in the small places where tension tends to linger. Even the air seems to soften. It moves with a calm that carries through every breath. The warmth of the day has faded, replaced by a coolness that soothes rather than chills. This balance of temperatures feels grounding, aligning your senses with the quiet of the evening. A long moment passes where everything feels still, even as the wind continues to drift and the water continues to sway. This stillness is not silence, but a soft, expansive pause where nothing presses in. It is a place where the mind can rest without trying, where the body can feel both light and held. The horizon darkens slowly. The wide stretch of the sky feels like an open door into night. That openness spreads inside you as well, easing whatever space felt tight before. With every gentle sound of the ocean, calm settles deeper. Another light breeze moves across the water, creating a smooth ripple that travels toward the shore. It widens, then fades, blending with the next small swell. Each movement feels connected to the one before it, forming a continuous flow. This flow brings the mind into sync with the quiet rhythm, steady and peaceful. As the last traces of daylight dissolve, the water darkens into a deep, calming blue. The wind softens into a low murmur. Together, they create a soothing symphony that fills the air with comfort. Everything feels slower now, easier, more spacious. The evening tides continue their gentle sway, guided by winds that no longer rush. Footsteps from earlier disappear into the softening sand. The world narrows to the simple harmony of air and sea, moving together with unbroken calm. A final slow breeze brushes across the water. Its touch creates one last shimmer across the fading surface before the light fully gives way to night. The calm that follows is deep and quiet, carrying a sense of being held by something vast and peaceful. And in that quiet, beneath the wide stretch of the evening sky, the soft murmur of distant winds and the slow sway of the ocean continue to move around you, guiding you deeper into rest and letting the stillness of the night settle gently into every part of you. Night has come a little closer, and the world feels tucked in. The shoreline curves into a small, sheltered cove where the air is calm and the sounds are soft. Waves arrive in gentle, rounded motions, as if they are whispering to the sand. Along the curve of the cove, warm lanterns have been placed at easy intervals. Their light glows softly against the deepening dusk, golden and steady. Each lantern holds a quiet flame that flickers just enough to feel alive. The glow does not push the darkness away, it simply softens it. That warm light spreads out over the smooth sand. Shadows stretch gently behind each lantern, long and soft-edged. They do not feel sharp or lonely. They feel like a quiet trace of your presence in this peaceful place. Near the water's edge, lanterns have been set on low rocks. Their reflections ripple across the surface, shimmering in thin lines of gold. Each small wave bends the light, stretches it, and then lets it return to shape. The water becomes a moving ribbon of gentle brightness. The air in the cove holds the last warmth of the day, wrapped in the cool of evening. It feels like stepping into a room where someone has already made it comfortable. A faint hint of salt and stone lingers in the breeze. Every breath carries a soft sense of homecoming, even if this place has never been seen before. Walking slowly across the sand, the lantern light follows in a loose, glowing path. It touches the tops of your feet, your hands, your face, with a gentle gold. The shadows you cast are soft and familiar. They walk along with you as quiet companions. Some lanterns sit closer together, their lights overlapping. Where their glow meets, the sand looks warmer, like a small pool of comfort. If you stop there for a moment, the world seems to gather around you in an easy circle of light. You are held but never crowded. Farther away, the sea continues its steady rhythm. The glow of the lanterns reaches only so far, leaving the rest of the water in soft darkness. Now and then, the faint crest of a wave catches a thread of light and carries it a little way out. Then it fades, leaving the ocean calm and deep again. The gentle flicker of each flame feels like a slow heartbeat. It is not perfectly still, and that small movement makes the light feel kind. As the lanterns glow and shimmer, something inside you responds, loosening and warming. A sense of quiet companionship settles in, even though the cove is still and peaceful. Sometimes the breeze moves through the cove and brushes against the lanterns. Their flames sway just a little, bending but not going out. The light on the sand wavers in time, with the air creating a slow, graceful dance. Watching this, your own inner pace begins to match their gentle sway. The sand beneath your feet is smooth and cool now. Lantern light glides across its surface, catching the small curves and dips. Your footprints appear and soften almost at once, edges blurred by the moving shadows. It feels as though the beach is quietly making space for you with each step. You may imagine sitting down in one of the pools of light, near where the tide reaches and retreats. The lantern beside you glows steadily, as if keeping you company. Warm light rests on your hands and knees, and on the gentle rise and fall of your breathing. Behind you, Your shadow leans back across the sand in a relaxed, easy stretch. The sounds around you are muted and calm. Waves murmur nearby, folding over themselves with soft edges. Lantern glass gives off the faintest clink now and then as the breeze touches it. All these small sounds blend into a quiet, comforting hum. Looking toward the water, you see the lantern reflections again. They appear as long, wavering streaks of gold and amber stretching from the rocks out toward the darker sea. When the water moves, they move. When the water stills, they rest. This shared rhythm between light and tide feels deeply soothing. As the evening grows later, the sky above darkens into deep blue and soft charcoal. The lanterns glow brighter against this darker backdrop, but never harshly. Their warmth feels steady and welcoming, like a gentle smile that never fades. In this glow, any sense of being alone begins to soften. Even in solitude, the cove feels full of warmth, full of quiet presence. The lanterns, the shifting shadows, the soft waves, all seem to sit beside you in calm, friendly silence. You're not asked to speak or move or do anything at all. The warmth from the lantern nearest you seems to seep into your chest. Muscles around your heart, your shoulders, your neck begin to ease. Each breath feels a little deeper, a little slower. Thoughts that might have been circling start to unwind and drift away like smoke rising into the night. In this moment, the world beyond the cove feels far away. Time moves differently here, stretching out in long, comfortable strands. A minute feels like a gentle pause. An hour feels like a slow, cozy exhale. The flicker of the flames begins to match the quiet pulsing of your own calm. Sometimes they dance, sometimes they barely move. Always they continue to glow, steady and warm. Their light feels like a promise that you are safe, protected by this simple, gentle brightness. As the night deepens, shadows grow longer and softer. They fold around the edges of the cove, wrapping it in a darker, more intimate calm. The lanterns continue to shine, creating small islands of light in the surrounding quiet. It is like being wrapped in a soft blanket of darkness, with tiny, glowing threads woven through. Every part of you is invited to rest here. Feet, legs, back, shoulders, face, even the small muscles around your eyes and jaw feel gently unclenched. The warmth of the light and the sound of the sea work together, easing you deeper into stillness. One lantern's light reflects off a smooth patch of wet sand near the tide line. It creates a little mirror of gold that grows and shrinks with each passing wave. Watching it, the mind drifts in slow circles, calm and unhurried. Nothing presses in. Nothing needs to be held tight. The cove remains quiet, wrapped in its own peaceful glow. Lanterns keep their easy watch along the curve of the shore. Their gentle light, the soft shadows, the calm waves all blend into one warm, steady presence. And as the night settles more deeply around this sheltered place, the glow of the lanterns along the cove continues to cradle you, inviting your body to sink into rest, inviting your thoughts to soften at the edges, and letting a deep, cozy serenity drift through you, as gently as candlelight fading towards sleep. Night has settled more fully over the shoreline now. The air is cooler, the sky darker, and the sea has taken on a deeper, more restful tone. Waves at the surface still rise and fall in their gentle rhythm, but beneath them something quieter is moving. Just below the surface, currents drift in slow, swirling patterns. They move without hurry, carrying cool water through the darker blue. You do not see them, but you can sense their steady pull. A soft murmured motion that never stops and never needs to rush. Imagine standing where the water reaches your ankles or calves. The surface laps gently against your skin, calm and familiar. Underneath that, the faint tug of the current brushes by, flowing around your legs in quiet streams. It feels like a smooth, cool ribbon drifting past, always moving, always kind. The water is neither too cold nor too warm. It holds a balanced, soothing temperature that settles comfortably against your skin. With each slow wave, a new layer of coolness arrives, then glides away. The body begins to relax into this pattern, trusting the gentle pull. Below the waves, the currents weave together, forming soft spirals of motion. They turn and drift, guiding grains of sand, bits of shell, and tiny bubbles along unseen paths. Nothing about their movement is sharp. Everything they touch is carried with care, drawn along in an easy flowing journey. Here in this quiet meeting of shore and sea, the mind starts to mirror that motion. Thoughts, once tight and heavy, begin to loosen. They swirl slowly, then stretch out, then drift away on the same steady currents. Tension softens, carried off into the wider water. The hum beneath the surface is faint, but constant. It is not a loud sound, more like a low, comforting presence, a quiet reminder that the ocean is alive and moving, even when it looks perfectly calm from above. This steady undercurrent feels like a heartbeat you can lean into. When a small wave arrives, it lifts you just slightly, then sets you down again. Under that rise and fall, the currents continue to slip past, smoothing and reshaping the water around your legs. Each pass seems to take a little more weight with it, as if it is gently unhooking what you no longer need to hold. Worry, strain, tightness. The longer you stay with the feeling of water moving around you, the deeper the calm becomes. Breath slows, matching the easy rhythm of the sea. Inhale with the soft lift of the wave. Exhale with the smooth retreat. Between those moments, the currents keep working, quiet and unseen. In this moment, you might imagine the water, not just around your body, but carrying through you. Not literally, but in the way its rhythm influences your own. The steadiness of its motion begins to enter your chest, your shoulders, your back. What felt tense now feels supported by something broader and more fluid. Cool water drifts past again, pressing gently against one side of your legs, then the other. You adjust without thinking, moving slightly with its flow. That small sway helps the body surrender a little more control. It is safe to let the water guide the movement. The undercurrents continue their soft, spiraling paths, never stopping, never tiring. They gather bits of heaviness from the day and carry them outward, away from the shore, out where the water is deeper and wider, and able to hold anything you release. You do not need to follow where they go. It is enough to feel them taking the weight for you. Above, the surface glimmers faintly with the last touch of reflected light. Below, the darker currents move like slow, fluid shadows. Both layers belong to the same sea, working together to create calm. One soothes the senses, the other soothes what lies beneath them. The longer you stand with the water around you, the more grounded you feel. Feet sink slightly into the sand, held by its steady firmness. At the same time, the gentle pull of the current brushes past, encouraging you to loosen from the inside out, rooted and drifting all at once. Thoughts that rise now do not stay as long. They appear, swirl slowly like leaves in water, and then are carried away. You do not need to chase them or push them aside. The sea's quiet motion does that work for you. The hum of movement beneath the surface grows more familiar with each moment. You may not hear it with your ears, but you feel it in the way the water responds, in the way your body responds. It is a soft, continuous comfort, a reminder that you are surrounded by a calm, living presence. Every now and then, a slightly stronger current passes through. It glides around your legs with a little more firmness, then eases. When it does, a deeper layer of tension seems to loosen and slide away with it. What remains is softness, both in the water and within you. Time stretches out here. There is no need to measure it. The sea continues its gentle work, drawing heaviness out and carrying it off, bringing coolness in and leaving ease behind. You are simply part of this slow exchange. As you stay with the feeling of whispering currents, the body grows heavier in a pleasant way. Muscles let go of effort. Breath moves more quietly. Awareness becomes wider and softer, like the ocean itself at rest. The water around your legs might feel slightly lighter now. Not because it has changed, but because everything inside you has settled more deeply. The currents are still there, still moving, still carrying. But now you rest in their rhythm rather than leaning against it. The night deepens and the sea continues its quiet, fluid motion. Under the dark surface, currents swirl and drift, always in motion, always at ease. They ask nothing of you. They simply move, and in that movement, they help you release what you no longer need to hold. And as the whispering currents keep flowing past, cool and soft and steady, the last traces of tension follow them out into the open water, leaving you calmer, lighter, and gently held in the quiet pull of the sea, resting in the deep, effortless movement that continues even as you grow still. Night has gathered fully over the sea. The last colors of twilight have faded into deep blue and soft charcoal. Everything feels quiet now, as if the world is waiting for something gentle to arrive. At the horizon, a pale glow begins to form. It starts as a faint brightness behind the dark edge of the water. Slowly, patiently, it rises, smoothing a soft light across the sky. The moon is lifting itself into view. As it climbs, the moon's light spills over the surface of the ocean. A thin silver line appears where water meets sky. That line begins to stretch toward the shore, long and straight and calm. It looks like a shimmering path laid gently over the waves. The sea responds in its own quiet way. Each small swell catches the light and releases it again. Silver glows along the tops of the waves, then slips into shadow as they roll on. This soft flashing and fading repeats, soothing and unhurried. The path of moonlight grows wider as the moon rises higher. It reaches from the far distance all the way to the sand at your feet. Standing near the shore, it can feel as if you are at the edge of that glowing road, a road made not of stone, but of soft, moving light. The air has cooled, but the moon's glow has a gentle warmth of its own. It rests on your skin like a light touch. Soft illumination, traces the shape of your hands, your arms, the curve of your shoulders. Shadows fall behind you in long, quiet lines, blending into the beach. The shoreline itself changes under this new light. Sand that was dark and quiet now glimmers with tiny points of reflection. Each grain seems to hold a faint silver sheen. Footprints, rocks, and shells take on a soft outline, clear but never harsh. Waves roll in with the same familiar rhythm, but they feel different under the moon. Their edges glow briefly as they rise, then fade as they fall back into the deeper water. The constant motion of light and shadow creates a dreamy, flowing pattern. Watching it, the mind begins to drift in time with the sea. Farther out, the water looks smooth and endless. The moon's reflection there is softer, more diffuse. It spreads like a luminous veil across the darker blue. The horizon disappears into this gentle blend of light and night. The sound of the ocean has softened too. It is no longer the sound of the day, bright and busy. It is lower now, quieter, like a steady hum beneath everything else. That sound underlines every moment, keeping time for your breath. Breathing feels slower in this light. Each inhale carries a sense of cool clarity. Each exhale feels like a small surrender, a quiet letting go. The moon above and its path across the water seem to encourage this easy rhythm. As the moon rises higher, its light becomes more steady. The shimmering path across the waves holds its shape more clearly. Even when the water moves, the brightness remains. It feels reliable, constant, gently guiding your attention outward and inward at the same time. The shoreline glows in patches where the light touches it strongest. Driftwood, smooth stones, and small pools left by the tide all pick up that silver sheen. Shadows curve softly around them, giving depth without any sense of threat. The entire scene feels calm, open, and safe. In this soft glow, everything seems wrapped in a hushed calm. Thoughts quiet down as they follow the steady brightness of the moon's reflection. Worries that once felt sharp now appear distant and dull, like shapes far out at sea. They drift at the edges of awareness, then slip away. Above, the moon hangs in a wide, open sky. Its edges are clear, its light gentle but strong enough to hold the night. Around it, the darkness feels softer, less heavy. It is darkness that invites rest, not fear. The path of light on the water continues to shift with each wave. Sometimes it narrows, sometimes it widens, sometimes it breaks apart into shining fragments. Then it gathers itself again into a long, unbroken line. This slow, endless variation creates a sense of timelessness. Standing near the shore, it is easy to feel as though time has stretched out. Minutes blur into each other like waves merging along the beach. Nothing needs to happen quickly. Nothing needs to change. The moon's glow touches the tops of small ripples near your feet. As water washes over the sand, tiny flashes of silver appear and fade at your toes. The sensation of cool water, the sound of its retreat, and the brief glimmer of light all blend into one gentle experience. Body and mind sink deeper into ease. A slight breeze moves through the scene, but it is calm and soft. It carries the clean scent of night air and open water. The breeze lifts stray hairs, brushes your cheeks, and then moves quietly on. In its wake, the stillness feels even more complete. The moon continues along its slow path. Across the sky, it does not rush. It simply rises, following the pattern it has always known. Its steady journey brings a feeling of quiet assurance. That same sense of steadiness begins to settle into you. The slow, unbroken motion of the moon above and its reflection below offer a kind of peaceful guidance. You are not being pulled or pushed, only gently encouraged to rest, to drift with the quiet tide of this moment. The longer you stay with the scene, the softer everything becomes. Muscles loosen, breathing deepens, and thoughts grow lighter. Awareness sinks down into a dreamy, relaxed layer. The world feels both wide and very close, as if you are cradled inside the night. Waves continue to move along the moon's path, rising and falling in easy rhythm. Silver runs along their edges, then slips back into shadow. This simple play of light and water is enough to hold your attention in a restful way. Nothing more is needed. The shore, the sea, the ski, and the rising moon all share the same quiet calm. Each part supports the others, creating a complete, soothing whole. In this place, under this light, you are gently invited to let go even more. And as the moon continues its slow climb, casting its silver path across the waves, the night deepens into an even quieter peace. The brightness above and the glow on the water guiding you further into softness, further into stillness, until your thoughts grow faint and the calm of the moonlit sea fills the space where words begin to fade into silence. Night has settled softly over the shore. The moonlit water moves in slow, easy breaths. Waves roll in with a quiet hush, then slip away, leaving the sand smooth and dark and calm. Along the high line of the tide, pieces of driftwood rest. They have been shaped by years of waves and weather. Edges are rounded, surfaces worn smooth. Each piece feels settled, like it has finally found a place to rest. You imagine yourself moving toward one of these gentle shapes. The sand beneath your feet is cool and fine, shifting softly with each step. The air holds a calm, salty scent, touched by the faint chill of night. Nothing feels sharp or demanding. Everything invites you to slow down. A long piece of driftwood lies near the edge of the beach, not far from where the waves reach. Its surface is pale and soft to the touch, like a stone that has been smoothed by a river. You settle beside it or lean back against it and feel how solid and steady it is. It supports your weight without effort. The sand around you molds to the shape of your body. It cradles your hands, your legs, your back. Any tension that was still hiding in those places begins to release, grain by grain. The earth holds you gently, as if it has been waiting for you to arrive. The driftwood at your side is cool at first, then slowly warms where your skin meets its surface. Its texture is pleasant, firm yet softened by the sea. You can feel small ridges and lines, all of them worn gentle by time. This contact brings a grounded comfort, a quiet reminder that you are fully supported. In front of you, the ocean is moving in its slow, steady rhythm. Waves gather, rise, and slide toward the shore. They reach out as thin sheets that shimmer under the moonlight, then retreat, leaving behind a faint, shining trace. The sound is soft and repetitive, like a lullaby murmured by the sea. A cool breeze drifts along the shoreline. It passes over your face and through your hair, brushing across your arms and legs. Each touch feels light and kind, as if the night itself is smoothing the day away. Breath falls naturally into time with these gentle motions. The pieces of driftwood nearby cast soft, curved shadows on the sand. Moonlight glows along their surfaces, picking out their shapes in pale silver. Shadows stretch out behind them like quiet, sleeping forms. The whole scene feels still, yet alive with tiny, soothing movements. As you rest here, thoughts begin to loosen at the edges. Ideas that once felt tight start to unravel, like knots that no longer need to hold. They drift away in slow patterns, moving out toward the sound of the surf. You do not have to follow them. You are free to stay here with the driftwood and the waves. The rhythmic surf continues its steady pattern. Inhale as a wave gathers. Exhale as it breaks and slides back into the ocean. Between breaths, a soft space opens up, wide and quiet. In that space, the mind grows lighter. The cool breeze returns, a little slower now. It glides over the sand and across your skin with the softness of a sigh. Any small remaining tension, maybe in the forehead, the jaw, the back of the neck, responds and relaxes a little more. The body is starting to trust the stillness. Nearby, the driftwood looks like it has been here for a very long time. It has known many tides, many nights, many moons. Now it rests, and in its resting, it offers you an example. Nothing to chase, nothing to resist, only this moment. Your body begins to feel heavier in a safe and pleasant way, weighted in a way that means it does not need to move. The sand, the driftwood, and the earth beneath combine to hold you in place. You are grounded and steady, even as your thoughts drift like clouds. The sound of the waves blends with the faint rustle of the breeze. Together, they create a soft, continuous hush. No sudden changes, no sharp edges, just a smooth, ongoing sound that wraps around you like a light blanket. Moonlight spills across the sand, across the driftwood, across your resting form. It paints everything in gentle shades of silver and grey. This light feels quiet and kind, neither bright nor dim. It is just enough to see by, just enough to feel comforted. As time passes, your awareness begins to move in a slower way. Thoughts come and go without urgency. Sometimes they show up as small pictures or fragments, then slide away before they fully form. They drift out toward the rhythmic surf, where they dissolve into the sound. The driftwood beside you remains a steady presence. When your hand brushes against it, the texture reassures you. Solid, smooth, unmoving. It anchors you gently, even as the rest of you sinks deeper toward sleep. The cool breeze softens again. Its movements are lighter now, like the gentlest touch across your skin. It brings with it the freshness of the night and the softness of the sea. Each breath feels easier, quieter, more relaxed. The surf continues, unbroken. Wave after wave arrives, rests upon the shore, and retreats. Each cycle carries away a little more of the day's weight. Worries, tasks, stray thoughts, all of them slip into the water's slow pull and fade. Your body knows it is safe here, held by the ground, sheltered by the night, surrounded by the softened shapes of driftwood and sand and sea. Nothing demands your attention. Nothing needs to be done. Eyes grow heavier in this softness. If they are open, they move lazily between driftwood, moonlight, and the gentle line of the waves. If they are closed, the images still linger behind them in a quieter, dreamlike way. Either way, the feeling is the same, calm, supported, ready to drift. The boundary between waking and sleep begins to blur. You rest in that in-between place where thoughts move slowly and the body is deeply at ease. The surf, the breeze, the worn wood at your side, all of it blends into one peaceful presence. You are no longer separate from the scene, you are part of it. Time loses its edges, moments stretch and soften, like ripples smoothing out across the water. Each breath, each distant wave, each faint movement of air contributes to the same quiet rhythm. Everything moves together, gently, steadily, and as you remain beside the driftwood, close to the rhythmic surf and the cool night air, the last traces of effort melt away. Thoughts loosen and drift like pieces of wood carried by the tide, and you are left in a quiet, dreamy stillness, ready to sink even deeper into rest, until words fade and only the soft hush of the sea seems to remain. Night has opened fully along the shoreline. The world feels wide and quiet, wrapped in soft darkness. Only the sound of gentle waves moves through the stillness. Above the water, the sky stretches out like an endless dark canvas. Stars begin to appear one by one, small and bright against the deep blue. Their light feels delicate, almost weightless, as if it floats rather than shines. The ocean receives this starlight with calm acceptance. The surface is smoother now, touched only by the faintest ripples. Each small movement catches a bit of light, spreading it into tiny, shimmering points. It looks like the sky has doubled itself, one version above, one drifting quietly below. You stand or rest near the edge of the water, feeling the cool sand beneath you. The night air settles around your body like a soft blanket. Warm in some places, cool in others, it moves slowly and gently. Breathing becomes easier in this open space. When you lift your gaze, the stars seem endless. Clusters of small, bright dots gather overhead. Some glow faintly, while others glimmer with a softer pulse. The longer you look, the more of them appear, as if the sky is slowly revealing its full shape. Their reflections on the water shift with every rise and fall of the tide. A wave gathers, and the lights stretch in long, glistening threads. The wave settles, and the reflections break into tiny sparks before fading. This soft, repeating pattern is calming, steady, hypnotic. The hush of the night deepens. Waves arrive with quiet steps, and the beach receives them without sound. The air holds the faint scent of salt and cool stone. Every sense feels soothed, softened by the presence of the sea. A feeling of vastness grows as you take in the stars above the water. The world seems bigger, but not in a way that overwhelms. It feels like being part of something expansive and gentle. Small, but safe. Quiet, but fully held. This sense of space invites thoughts to drift farther away. Anything heavy loosens its hold. Any tightness in the mind begins to dissolve, slipping into the open night. There is nowhere those thoughts need to go. They simply fade into the distance, like waves disappearing into the dark. Above the horizon, more stars appear. Some blink softly, some shine with steady calm. Their presence feels ancient, familiar, and comforting. It is easy to imagine they have watched over this same stretch of water for countless nights. The longer you stay with the scene, the more dreamlike it becomes. The line between sky and sea blurs until the reflections look like stars, floating just beneath the surface. The boundary between above and below seems to dissolve. Everything merges into one quiet, shimmering expanse. Breath flows slowly now. Inhale, and the air feels cool and clean. Exhale, and the body grows a little heavier, anchored by the sand beneath you. Each breath feels like part of the night's rhythm. Every now and then, a small breeze moves across the water. It creates tiny ripples that shift the star reflections into wavering trails of light. These fading and forming shapes bring a gentle softness to the scene. Time seems to stretch, slow and easy. The beach behind you is dark and still. The ocean before you glows with scattered points of silver. Between the two lies a perfect quiet, a silence so deep it feels alive. In this silence, the mind can drift without direction. Stars continue to spread across the sky, filling it with peaceful brightness. Their light rests lightly on your skin, barely noticeable, yet deeply soothing. The night around you becomes a place to rest, not to think. A space where you can simply breathe. The water closest to you reflects fewer stars, but those that appear look larger and more defined. They shimmer with each small movement of the sea. One shifts, then another, like tiny lanterns floating on invisible currents. Watching them, the world feels soft and safe. Above, the stars gleam steadily, distant and bright. Below, they drift in gentle motion, carried by calm water. The scene is quiet, complete, and peaceful. It wraps around you without asking for anything in return. Your awareness begins to settle deeper. Thoughts slow, muscles soften. The boundary between body and night fades gently. You become part of the stillness, part of the soft rhythm of starlight and waves. The night sky stretches endlessly overhead, but it no longer feels far away. It feels close, as if the stars are leaning in to watch over you. Their calm presence gives the moment a feeling of gentle protection. You are safe under their glow. Waves continue to arrive in soft, rhythmic patterns. Their sound blends with the quiet of the sky, forming a soft hum that drifts through the air. This combination of sound and silence guides you deeper into rest. The stars shimmer once more along the water's surface. Their reflections flicker, vanish, return. This subtle, repeating motion encourages the mind to let go of the last bits of the day. And as the night deepens, the sky above the water glows with its soft constellation of tiny lights, spreading calm across the sea, across the sand, and through the quiet space within you, until only stillness remains, wide and gentle, like the stars drifting above the ocean's slow, endless breath. Night has deepened into its quietest hour. The shoreline rests in cool stillness, shaped only by the slow touch of the tide. Nothing moves with urgency. Everything drifts in unbroken calm. Waves rise in soft, rounded forms far from shore. They travel toward you with long, gentle sweeps. When they arrive, they fold onto the sand with a tender hush. A sound so steady, it feels like breathing. Each wave leaves behind a thin veil of water that glimmers faintly in the moonlight. It smooths the sand in slow strokes, then retreats, inviting the next wave forward. This pattern continues quiet and unchanging, like a lullaby whispered again and again. The ocean knows this rhythm by heart. The air is cool now, with the kind of freshness that encourages the body to release its final traces of tension. It drifts across your skin in soft currents, offering comfort with every pass. Breath naturally follows the pace of the night, slow, deep, and unforced. Inhale with the rise of a distant swell. Exhale with the fall of the water at your feet. The wide sky above holds its stars in perfect stillness. They shine without effort, scattered across the dark in quiet constellations. Their faint glow feels patient, steady, and safe. A soft light that watches over the resting sea. Farther down the beach, you hear the low echo of waves meeting the rocks. The sound is muted, rounded by distance. It blends with the nearer surf, forming a layered hum that wraps gently around you. No sharp notes, no sudden shifts. Only the deep, reassuring voice of the ocean. The sand beneath you is cool and firm. It holds your weight in a comforting way, supporting your body as it grows heavier with ease. Any remaining tightness in your shoulders, your back, your legs begins to dissolve. You sink a little deeper into the earth's quiet embrace. In this moment, time stretches out. There is no beginning and no end to the sound of the waves, just the slow arrival and release, the soft lift and gentle settling, the world breathing in harmony with you. A distant swell rises, moving with the grace of something ancient and unhurried. It breaks into a soft cascade that arrives at your feet moments later. The cool touch of water reaches out, brushes you lightly, then slips away. The feeling is soothing, almost like a hand smoothing the day from your skin. Thoughts move differently here. They are slower, lighter, more fluid. They drift in, pause for a moment, and drift out again. None of them cling. None of them demand attention. They simply float like small shells carried by the tide. You may feel as though you are fading into the scene, becoming part of the shoreline, part of the night. The sound of the waves becomes your own internal rhythm. The cool breeze becomes the space around your breath. Everything blends in quiet harmony. The ocean's soft voice continues, unbroken. Wave after wave arrives, rests and recedes. This endless motion invites the body to grow still and the mind to grow quiet. Sleep feels close, like a gentle tide rising slowly toward the shore. The cool air settles again, this time even softer. It moves around you like a blanket woven from night and water. The warmth of your body meets the coolness of the breeze in a way that feels perfectly balanced. Neither too warm nor too cold, just right for drifting. If your eyes are open, they feel heavy, drawn to the slow shimmer of moonlight on the water. If they are closed, the sound alone carries the same calm, the same slow rhythm. Vision becomes less important, hearing becomes enough, feeling becomes enough. The ocean's lullaby continues without pause. Long, deep waves form far out at sea, then roll inward in soft, expanding lines. The sound grows a little stronger, then a little softer, in a slow pattern that feels like the heartbeat of the night. Your body responds in the simplest way, by surrendering. Muscles soften, breathing smooths out. Thoughts dim like lights slowly fading behind a curtain. Everything inside quiets, becoming part of the steady hush of the shoreline. Another wave reaches the beach. It spreads out in a smooth, cool sheet, shimmering for a moment before sliding away. The retreat leaves the sand darker, calmer, more at rest. It feels like watching the world sigh in relief. Above you, the stars remain steady. Their soft glow reflects faintly on the water, creating tiny points of silver that twinkle with each ripple. This gentle sparkle feels distant, yet comforting. like a lullaby sung from far away, but meant only for you. The night around you is deep and peaceful. No rush, no effort, only the slow rhythm of the ocean carrying you towards stillness. Breath merges with the waves, thoughts fade into the sound, the body grows still and warm and heavy. You hover at the edge of sleep, supported by the soft, eternal motion of the sea. Another swell gathers, another hush reaches the shore. The rhythm continues, soft and endless. And as you rest in this quiet place, the ocean continues its final lullaby, steady, gentle, and deeply soothing, guiding you toward deeper calm, toward effortless sleep, until only silence remains, and the night holds you in its quiet arms. Night has become completely still. The shoreline rests in a soft hush, shaped only by the gentle rise and fall of the tide. Moonlight glows in quiet patches across the sand, fading slowly as each wave spreads out and disappears. The air has cooled into a deep, peaceful quiet. It moves with a light touch, soft enough to feel like a slow exhale drifting across the beach. Every part of the scene feels unhurried, as though the world itself has settled into rest. Far out on the water, waves continue their calm rhythm. They rise in long, slow curves, then fall into themselves with a tender sigh. The sound carries across the night in soft echoes, smoothing the space around you. Each echo blends into the next, seamless and soothing. The sand beneath you feels steady and welcoming. It supports your weight without effort, molding to your body in gentle shapes. Warmth from the day has almost faded, leaving behind a cool, comforting surface. It invites stillness. It encourages ease. The sky above is wide and quiet. Stars hold their places in soft clusters, scattered across the dark like delicate pinpoints of light. Their glow is calm, steady, and timeless. Just enough to trust, not enough to stir. Nothing needs to happen now. Nothing needs to change. The night holds everything in soft balance. A perfect pause, wrapped in moonlit quiet. The ocean continues its steady song, a long breath inward, a long breath outward. The rhythm is patient, unbroken, almost impossible to separate from your own breathing. It becomes one continuous lullaby that moves through the cool air and into the warm center of your body. Thoughts drift more slowly in this space. They appear faintly, linger for a moment, and fade before they fully form. There is no pull to follow them. They simply rise and fall as naturally as the tide. A deeper calm begins to settle in the chest, then in the shoulders, then in the small muscles around the eyes. Breath grows softer, quieter. The body feels heavier in a soothing way, as if sinking into a gentle cradle made of sand and night air. Everything inside loosens. The moonlight spreads across the water in a long, pale ribbon. It stretches from the horizon to the shore, forming a soft bridge of light. Waves glide beneath it, stirring the reflection into wavering patterns. These shifting shapes feel like dreams gently beginning. The breeze slows almost to stillness. It brushes past like a faint memory of movement. Its coolness settles on your skin, calming and light. Your breath follows its pace, unhurried, deep, easy. The ocean sounds closer now, though it hasn't moved. Its voice feels nearer to your heart, its rhythm echoing inside you. Each wave seems to carry you a little further into quiet, a little deeper into rest. In this moment, the world feels soft, all the way to its edges. The sky, the sand, the sea. all of it shaped by silence and smooth motion, all of it easing the space around you. Your body grows heavier, yet lighter, at the same time. The weight that remains is safe and grounding. The rest begins to drift into the air, into the sound of the waves, into the slow pulse of night. You're held between these sensations, floating gently. The quiet becomes fuller, deeper. Not emptiness, comfort, a warm stillness that fills every part of you. The mind relaxes into it, trusting the softness, trusting the ease. Waves continue their slow, steady arrival. Each one a tender reminder of safety. Each one a small gesture of calm. Their rhythm wraps around you like a blanket pulled gently to your chin. Nothing asks for your attention now. The world has dimmed its lights and softened its voice. You are free to drift wherever rest chooses to take you. Free to slip into sleep as easily as a wave slides back into the sea. If your eyes are open, they grow heavy. If they are closed, they drift even deeper into the softness behind them. The boundary between waking and dreaming becomes thin, like a quiet veil moving in the breeze. You pass through it without noticing. The night holds you gently. The ocean sings its final lullaby in soft, unbroken waves. The air cools, the sand steadies, the world settles, and you settle with it, drifting deeper, resting fully, wrapped in quiet twilight comfort, until even these words fade into stillness and only peace remains.